Hello guys, this is channel to introduce you to enjoy Korean movies. We've summarized it within 15 minutes. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe our channel and hit the like buttons. Then, let us watch the movie together. Kim's family is an unemployed family living in a semi-underground house, depending on the Wi-Fi that comes out from the upper house or nearby cafes. Living in a semi-basement means they are very poor in Korea. On usual day, Minhyuk visited Kyo's house. Kyo is taking his fourth trial of college entrance exam without going to college. Minhyuk visited Kim's house and told his grandfather to deliver a gift to him and present him with an expensive headstone.
네가 내 대신 얘 과외 선생님 좀 해줘라, 영어.
그럼 나보고 대학생인 척하라는 거야?
도합 4번의 수능을 봤잖아? 네가 10배는 더 잘 가르칠 걸 매일같이 술 처먹는 대학생 씹새끼들보다? 너도 하는 거다.
응, 그럼 뭐.
To deceive his educational background, Kyo cheated his university with a computer. Then Kyo visited CEO Park's house for the first time. Cheongyo, the hostess of the house, wanted to know if Kyo's teaching skills were okay, said she would attend the class in person. She led Kyo to her daughter's room, holding her puppy in a spacious and beautiful house.
다이너 방금 뒷 문제들 한참 풀다가 지금 24번으로 또 다시 돌아왔어.
In the first class, he held Daeha's hand suddenly while tutoring attended by his mother, saying that her breathing became rough. Yeongyo liked Kyo's teaching, gave her private tutoring fee in advance. Her little son Da-song suddenly appeared and playing Indian games. Her mother thinks he's a genius and showed his paintings. Kyo said yes, but inside he doesn't seem to be. When Yeongyo said her distracted son is out of control, Kyo took the advantage of this to try make things up. Then she introduced his cousin's acquaintance Jessica, saying that she graduated from Illinois State University and saying she's very good at dealing with kids. In the meantime, Kyo and Dae seem to have a little flirting atmosphere. Unlike Kyo, Ki-jung did not allow Yeongyo to attend the class. After the class, Da-song, who has never been polite before, greeted politely and left.
저와 함께 열어보시겠어요, 어머니? Jessica, this is 동희.
After leaving the house, Park's driver gently said he will take her home, but Ki-jung rejected it because he may notice that she lives in a poor house. Then she took off her underwear and hid it under the passenger seat with a sudden idea. On the way home after work, CEO Park found the pants left on the back of the car. Then he showed the underwear to his wife, and they think the driver acted insane and presumed that he did something like drugs. Then they fired the driver. Ki-jung carefully recommended another driver, and Yeongyo became interested in her words and asked her to introduce him. The driver she introduced was none other than her father, Ki-taek. Before meeting CEO Park, Ki-taek learned the structure of the car quickly and met him. Then he went out to see his driving skills. Ki-taek, who often had valet parking with a chauffeur, appeared to be driving smoothly without using navigation. Mr. Park, satisfied his skill, hired him. Then they turned the next target to Moon-gwang, a housekeeper working in the house. Moon-gwang, who has worked in the house since before Park moved in, worked for 10 years and she has allergy to peaches. The Kim family collected peaches powder and sprinkled it around her, deliberately causing her to have an allergic reaction and started faking her as if she is sick.
집사람한테 카톡 보내려고 셀카를 찍는데 이분이 전화로 누구에게 막 얘기를 하는데.
One day, they made her have an allergic reaction and sprinkled hot sauce on the tissue without missing it, making it look like she has a tuberculosis and spitting blood. Eventually, Yeongyo, the hostess, fired her away. While Moon-gwang was leaving the house, she kept looking behind the house. Then Ki-taek naturally introduced a new housekeeper. It is now easily inferred who Ki-taek introduced it. Now all the members of the family are working in the Park family house. One day, the Park family went out to a camping, leaving behind a puppy to Chung-suk.
준이 걔는 산책할 때 끈을 좀 길게 해줘요. 그놈은 사방으로 마구 뛰어다니니까 직성이 풀려.
While they are away, the Kim family used the house as if it is their home. Kyo enjoyed the relaxation by reading Dae's diary, and Ki-jung took a bath while watching TV in the bathtub. And as a finale, they threw a small drinking party at night, emptying expensive liquors. He showed Dahae's diary to his family and said what his friend Minhyuk said before, saying he will officially ask her out when he enters a prestigious university. Seemed to consider marriage with her before he even didn't date yet.
너의 처갓집이 되는 거네?
그러면 엄마 아빠 역할은 대학 배우들이 와서 해주면 되는 거고.
사모님이 특히 좀 거시기하지.
맞아.
부자니까 착한 거지. 뭔 소린지 알아?
야, 제시카, 건배.
While they were drinking, laughing, and talking, the weather was turning bad outside, and the doorbell rang out of nowhere. Looking at the screen, they saw Moon Gwang, the previous housekeeper who was fired before. She begged her to open the door, saying she had left something at the house.
놔두고 온 게 있어가지고요. 야, 어떡해.
She went down to the basement of the house. Chung-suk followed behind her when she was not seen over time. Seeing Moon Gwang was pushing the display case between the room. Chung-suk took out an iron plate for the barbecue under the display case and was pushed it to the side and opened, showing a long and deep space back. Turned out she was hiding her husband in a secret space, hidden underground, which was made as a shelter when the building was first built.
토킹 오빠. 여기 온 거 아무도 몰라요. 나 잘했죠 언니?
아유 맛있다. 근데 여보 얼굴 왜 이래?
네. 도대체 언제부터 여기 산 거야 남편이?
3개월하고 17일째지.
After witnessing such a scene, Chung-suk tried to throw them away with a very high-handed attitude. Then Moon-suk begged her not to let them know and begged her to put a meal once for 2 days or once a week.
여기 사람한테 음식 좀 챙겨다 주세요.
In the meantime, the rest of the family had been listening to the conversation. Tumbled as Gi-taek's feet slipped. Gyu unconsciously called him father, which made Moon Gwang aware of what happened.
저기 동생.
Moon Gwang's attitude changed suddenly after she figured out what happened.
다 같이 경찰서 가든지 감방에 가든지 이참에 에브리바디 끝장을 못.
그 착하신 분들이 무슨 잘못이 있다고?
아주머니 진정하세요.
당신 오랜만에 프레시한 공기 좀 마셔야 돼.
이게 맞아.
Taking action to send a video to Park's family and said the button is like a North Korean nuclear missile button. It's one of the Koreans' joke. Moon Gwang and her husband made the Kim family raise their hands on the air and recorded video of mess, which they have left behind while drinking. While Moon Gwang was recording, Chung-suk dashed and started a fight. But all of a sudden, a phone rang. Due to the sudden situation, Gi-taek's family and Moon Gwang's couple got to answer the phone after being blanked for a while. Young-gyo told Moon Gwang that they will arrive in 8 minutes and asked her to cook jjapbaguri. For your information, jjapbaguri is a mixed noodle with 2 different ramen. Before they arrived, Moon Gwang hurriedly cleaned up the mess, cooked ramen, and greeted them. Upon arriving home, the rear house owner ate ramen and told her that her son Da-song had a trauma after seeing a ghost in the house in the past. In fact, that meant Da-song had confronted Kun-se sneaking up into the living room. While Young-gyo briefly went upstairs, the Kim family was about to leave the house quickly. While going out, Da-song and Park's couple suddenly came down and the Kim family hurriedly hid under the table in the living room. They began to have an erotic actions in their living room, talking about Ki-jung's panties for sexual excitement without noticing 3 of Kim's family were hiding under the table. When they fell asleep, everyone started to go outside. They were almost discovered by their little kid Da-song just before they went out, but they succeeded to leave the outside.
아까
Ki-jung asked her father Ki-taek what he did with Moon Gwang and her husband Kun-se, and asked what plans he has now. Ki-taek said he's got a plan, but first they're heading to the home to wash up.
계획이 다 있으니까.
When they arrived near their house, they saw there was a lot of water because of heavy rain. As they hurried into the house, saw the semi-underground house flooded. In the same time, different place, Moon Gwang tried to untie the bondage. She got a concussion from hitting her head against the wall before and eventually died. Meanwhile, Ki-jung sat on a toilet cover while the old water backflow and she smoked nicely. And Ki-taek looked at the headstone given by Min-hyuk and brought out, heading to the flow baking centers. The next morning, Yeongkyo planned Da-sung's birthday party and called Ki-jung, inviting her to come.
어제 비 왕창 온 덕분에.
When she invited people and chose luxurious clothes, Ki-jung searched for old clothes of flute pickings.
잘 어울리냐고 여기.
With a car called driver Ki-taek dressed up as an Indian and prepared for a situation play. It seems Ki-taek is tired of previous night events, answered with a simple face, making him uncomfortable. He, while on the way to the hidden shelter, accidentally missed the headstone. As he went down carefully, he found Moon-gang lying next to the toilet and asked if he is okay. Kun-se appeared suddenly to avenge him, strangled him with a snare. He just managed to avoid hitting, climbing up, ran away with all his might. As he climbing up and fell over by the handle of the snare was jammed at the end of the stairs, Kun-se hit Kyu's head hard with a stone. Kun-se became completely out of his mind, went out with a knife. He went out to kill Chung-suk, but as soon as he went outside, he saw Ki-jung holding a cake and he ran toward stabbing her with a knife. Ha-sung fainted when he saw Ki-jung being stabbed, and Park's family said to take his fainted child to the hospital quickly, without caring about stabbed Ki-jung and Kyu, who was hit by a stone on the head. Although Ki-taek threw the key fell into the body of Chung-suk and Kun-se, and Mr. Park, who went to get the key, frowned at the smell of his body. Seeing the frowning of his face, Ki-taek suddenly lost his temper and ran to stab him. Ki-taek soon closed his eyes and went down to the stairs, disappeared somewhere. Kyu was damaged on his head. He only laughed in the hospital and couldn't control laughing at Ki-jung's funeral. News talked about the sudden disappearance of Ki-taek, but we can't guess where he might be. Kyu, who was observing through the binoculars from afar, noticed that the light is Morse code and recorded with his voice. Later, when he decoded and read it, it was a letter from his father. Ki-taek stayed in a place where the Kun-se lived and wrote a letter.
나는 부엌에 한 번씩 올라갈 때마다 목숨을 간다. 목숨을. 언젠가는 네가 이걸 볼 날도 있을라나 싶다.
아버지.
Kyu said he has made up a plan to make a lot of money from the narration.
그날이 올 때까지 건강하세요.
Will Kyu's dreams come true? This is end of review, or summary, whatever you call. It is dealing with an interesting story that poor families is smuggled into a rich house and lived like a parasite. Hope you like it and see you next time.